Hello and welcome back to 9 Years in China with old teacher Kenny. Hope you're doing okay. Hope you're beating the heat because it's hot outside. It's summertime in America. Um, Today's subject is going to be something that we foreigners get asked about all the time. The whole time I was in China, my friends asked me about this. After I came back here to America, it's no different. Do Chinese people eat dogs? And yes, it does happen. Uh, you know, everything changes. And I will tell you, first of all, most Chinese people love their animals, and it's not because they taste good. All my students, all my girls that had puppy dogs, they love taking pictures and playing with their puppies. And everywhere you go in China, you see the women mostly. The women will walk in their little poodles and stuff. The men in China seem to tolerate pets, but usually if they're a man's pet, they're outside. Not all the time, but usually, and also you see the men with the big dogs, the German Shepherds, especially Golden Retrievers are popular in China. But as far as eating dogs, yes, it does happen. And I was in China for a while before I saw the first evidence of this. Before, if somebody messaged me on Facebook, hey, have you ate any dog or you ate any cat yet? And I said, no. But one day late in the fall, because this is what I found out, is as you get closer to the cold season, the winter season, the dog becomes more important. But I remember me and a teacher were walking around a little canal at the old campus in Fuyang, and just looking the place over. I'd never really been there but a couple times, the English Corner, and I wanted to see more of the campus. And so we're out walking around one evening, and see this old man. He's pulling one of those two-wheel wagons, the old wooden kind like you see in the movies, and he's pulling them. He's got that hat on that the Chinese old people wear, and I'll be dogged, he's got a little sign coming up from the wagon, and it's got a picture of a German Shepherd on there, and it also has the prices. He is selling Goro, which is a dog meat, means dog meat. Go is dog, ro is meat. Goro Hanbaobao, dog hamburgers, and I forgot how much it was. I didn't even pay any attention to the price after that. I was just like, whoa, this guy's running around the campus area out here and he's selling dog hamburgers. And that was my introduction that yes, it does happen. Now, the man I was with had been in China a long time. He just kind of laughed because he could tell by the expression on my face that I really didn't know what to think about that. Here I am. I'm from America, the South, and we all have pets, and we have hunting dogs and all kinds of stuff. So anyhow, that was my break-in to yes, it does happen. And later on, when Mary arrived on the scene, I asked her about this, and she said yes. When she was a little girl, she remembers eating dog meat, and she said it's mainly the old people do this during the winter holidays. there's a sign of virility or whatever associated with the dog. And I was like, you ate dog meat. And she laughed, but she's a farm girl. She's raised on a big farm area of northern Anhui province, and so she told me, about it. And later, when I moved to Huainan, that was my next city after Fuyang. There's another small city in central Anhui province, and you've seen some of my videos on this. And I understand I am an explorer. When I go to these cities, I go in and out of everywhere. There's no place that I think is not worthy of me seeing. And one day I'm out kind of on a little adventure on my bicycle. And this is probably in November. I'm guessing it's November. It wasn't hot, but it hadn't got cold yet. But I'm riding around on my bicycle and I go by a little set of small stores. And I see all this meat hanging outside. And I got to looking closer and I said, boy, that looks really familiar. And what it was, they were drying dog meat out in front of the stores. They were hanging this dog meat on racks. And they were sawed in half, straight down the middle, straight down the backbone. And my music. I got to have music for these videos. It just brings it all in. But anyhow, it looked like it was salted down and it was dried. And I didn't see prices or anything. But again, it's like, here we go again. By golly, they do eat dogs here. I don't know who. And there's places have dog restaurants and things. Now, I had never seen this, and I've never been to a place that served dog meat that I know of. But I can't read all the characters at all. And but I'll be dang. It's hard to believe. Coming from the West, it's hard to believe that this actually happens. Then a week or two later, me and Mary want to go visit the far end, right at the end of where the buses go in Huainan, just to explore. And we get there to that part of town, and we decide to go into this big Sugua supermarket, which is a big chain in central China. It's kind of like Kroger's. And we go exploring around the Sugua market, and we go into the Sugua market. I said, well, hey, while we're here, let's go look at the meats and the cheese, the things that we might want to take back home with us. And in China, when you get into the meat section, they have lots of stuff in these like aluminum bags, and they're sealed and they're highly decorated. Usually it's chicken, duck, goose. And like I said, this is on the far end of town. This is way away from the city center. This is probably where a lot of the old people go. And we're walking around that meat section, and Mary spots it right away. Go roll in the bag. And it's a pretty package. It's all gold and red, and it looks beautiful. And she showed me on the package where it says Go Row. So here we are now. They're actually selling prepared dog meat in the supermarkets. Not just a little supermarket. I'm talking about a real supermarket. Could you imagine going into Kroger's and finding cat or something like that? So pretty shocking. And I just unbelievable. Of course, I talk about it on Facebook a little bit. And when we went from Huainan to Shangzhou, Shangzhou is in Henan province. That was my third city. And I loved exploring Shangzhou. And I've been there for a while. And I always like to explore. So I took the Buxinjie one day, but I decided to go way opposite of where the normal people go. where most of the stores are. I wanted to go see the everyday stores, the little bitty shops. I wanted to see the people. I wanted to watch them cook and do all kinds of stuff. I love that. That's one of the greatest things about visiting China is their culture, the history, all that kind of stuff is really cool, but the people are even more cool. But I'm walking around looking at, the little food alley there, fried chicken and lots of Chinese dishes that I cannot name. And I see this lady cooking. She had these big pots. She had two of them. What it was spicy and not spicy. I could hear her say something about la, which meant spicy. And the soup, if it's spicy, it's always red because it's pepper flavored. So I'm kind of eyeballing around, and she's got this big old spoon, looked like a old witch cooking in a cave or something. And she dipped that spoon down and pulled out a dog skull. And the eyeballs are still in the skull. It's like, whoa. I'm so hungry now. Thank you, ma'am. So anyhow, eating dog does exist there. You cannot escape it, but it's changing. The views from the young people are mainly because of that, and the old people are dying. Eventually there will be none of this, but it still exists, and it's really, really popular in places. I'll tell you another quick idea that hit me when I was in Shangzhou before we go. Shangzhou had a great big people's park, Shangzhou Renmingongyuan. And the biggest attraction in the park was the zoo. The zoo was full of monkeys and peacocks and pot-bellied pigs you could play with. But the biggest attraction were the tigers. They had lots of wild cats, and they had one big giant outdoor tiger pen that you could walk up to the glass and really watch the tigers up close, not behind bars. And when I was in Shangzhou, one of the first things I noticed was the lack of dogs in the streets. Usually if you go to China, you see dogs and cats running around everywhere. It's just part of society. And you see a lot of them. But I noticed in Shangzhou, before I ever went to the zoo, before I ever thought about this, I didn't hardly ever see a dog running around loose. And then seeing that lady at the Buxinjie, I said, well, okay, some people are eating some of these dogs. But I got to thinking about that zoo. They got 30 tigers, around 30 tigers. They got lions and a few leopards. That's got to be one heck of a food bill. Can you get enough beef and goat and whatnot? They got to pay to have these tigers taken care of. And so I was putting two and two together, and I said, I know what? I bet some of these tigers are enjoying Rin Tin Tin. And I could not prove it, but I just almost guarantee it's got to be astronomical to feed that many big cats. So maybe in order to save some money, maybe some of those stray dogs are not just for human consumption. So anyhow, food for thought. Yes, it does happen. There's nothing you can do about it. Times are changing, though. It's getting lots better. But anyhow, that's my thoughts about this dog eating thing in China. But I promise you, my students don't approve of it. The people I know, the normal people, they don't approve of it either. But it does happen. So anyhow, have a great day, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Okay? Subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. Have a good day. Bye-bye.